Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristin Schumacher. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm with the California Budget and Policy Center. For those of you that aren't familiar, the Budget Center is a nonprofit here in Sacramento that engages in fiscal and policy research with the goal of improving the lives of low and middle income Californians. I've been asked today to provide a brief overview of the early care and education proposals included in the May revision. So to begin, as a refresher, the May revision is the updated budget proposal released by the governor. Per our state constitution, it must be released on or before May 14th. This year, it came out on Friday the 13th. Every year, the revised budget will have an updated economic and revenue outlook, along with proposed expenditures to reflect those revised estimates and assumptions. The May revision is also going to amend, supplement, or withdraw policy initiatives that were included in the governor's proposed budget that was released in January. And that's what I'm going to cover here today. So in the next few slides, I've provided a brief overview of what was included in the January proposal and how the May revision adjusts these proposals. So in January, the governor's subsidized childcare proposal included adding an additional 36,000 childcare spaces for children from families with low and moderate incomes in California. This was part of a plan that was initiated in last year's budget agreement to add 200,000 subsidized childcare spaces to the system in the next few years. So the May revision maintains this proposal, and if it's included in the final budget, it would bring the total in new spaces across the 21-22 and 22-23 state fiscal years to roughly 147,000 spaces. The May revision also included additional funding in the 22-23 fiscal year for childcare infrastructure, specifically for minor repairs and renovations. I'm sure that you'll hear more about that in just a few minutes. As some of you may recall, the January proposal did not include any provisions to continue supporting families and providers during the pandemic. However, the good news is that the May revision does include funding specifically to continue the family fee waiver through June 2023, and also to continue reimbursing providers based on enrollment, not attendance. Finally, the May revision adds $20 million in funding for the alternative payment program to build capacity to enroll new children and families in all of those new spaces that we're adding over this next few years. As some of you may recall, the governor's January budget proposal included some really significant changes to the California State Preschool Program. So the first bullet on the left-hand side is the requirement that 10% of children enrolled in the state preschool program have a disability, and that providers offer additional supportive services for children who are dual language learners. This proposal is maintained in the May revision, and there is an updated estimated cost of $351 million. That cost just reflects the additional funding that will be paid to providers for this care and services. The May revision also includes the proposed change in eligibility rules in the January budget, which would allow preschool program providers to enroll 2-year-olds if all other older children are served. May revision also includes a new adjustment factor for 2-year-olds enrolled in the state preschool program, so that providers who do enroll younger children get paid a bit more to care for that younger age group. And then once a family is determined to be eligible, the 12-month eligibility period would be extended to 24 months. That's another January proposal that's maintained in May. The May revision also maintains the $500 million in one-time Prop 98 dollars for the Inclusive Early Education Expansion Program to build or modify facilities. And then finally, similar to the child care programs, certain pandemic-related protections are included in the May revision, including the family fee waiver and that hold harmless provision, which would pay providers based on their contract with the state, regardless of student attendance. So as some of you may know, the 22-23 state fiscal year and academic year will be year 2 of the universal transitional kindergarten implementation. The May revision maintains that $1 billion investment to continue this effort that we saw in the January proposal. Approximately 60% of that $1 billion is to serve more children. So those turning 5 between September 2nd and February 2nd, instead of limiting it to those turning 5 between September 2nd and December 2nd. About 40% of that $1 billion is to add more staff to those TK classrooms to keep those adult to student ratios lower than what they currently are at right now. And then finally, the May revision has a new proposal for that year 2 of the UTK rollout. Some of you may know that California is currently experiencing a teacher shortage, and to make sure that there are going to be staff available to teach more children in additional TK classrooms, the May revision proposes to temporarily suspend credentialed requirements for TK teachers as long as they're working on obtaining a credential. So the suspension of the credential requirement would sunset in 2026. This concludes my overview of early care and education proposals in the May revision. My contact information is on this slide. Please feel free to be in touch. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good one.